Hello, you're listening to the OmniTalk Fast 5, brought to you in partnership with Microsoft, the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Takeoff, Sezzle, and Silk.
All right, headline number 2, TikTok is planning to open up e-commerce facilities to compete with Amazon. As reported in the Washington Examiner, the Chinese-affiliated social media platform has begun taking steps to construct fulfillment centers to deliver products ordered on its platforms, according to job listings found by Axios. TikTok is looking to build in, quote, international e-commerce fulfillment system, end quote, international. Wow, I didn't catch that when I first put this together. According to the listings, including international warehousing, customs clearing, and supply chain systems supporting domestic e-commerce in the United States. And do you think this is a good move by TikTok? I have no idea which way you're going to go on this.
Okay, one, it's hard to say. I don't like this much speculation happening just based on job descriptions. Like, that's the core of this. Like, that could go a lot of ways. There, I think we're making a lot of it.
Yeah.
But if we're going to theorize on this and think about this, I think there's a few things that make us pay attention to this move. Like, the audience should be paying attention to this. According to Google data, almost half of Gen Z is starting searches on Instagram or TikTok. Okay, so no Google, no nothing. Like, I'm going here. I want to buy something. I want to go somewhere. I want to do something. I'm going on Instagram or TikTok to do that. Gen Z spends 5% of their awake time, 24 to 48 hours every month, just on TikTok. No other platforms. That's not full social media. That's just on 5% TikTok.
5% of the time they're awake.
5% of their awake time is spent on that. And I think if we look back on like what Carter Jensen has talked about in years
we had him
past,
in a grocery shop,
the horizontal line of e-commerce, where do we spend our time? And for that next generation shopper, it's on TikTok. I think there are opportunities being created right now on that platform that will expand what we conceive of what commerce looks like. And especially, I think people are comparing this to Amazon. They're like, oh, TikTok's going after Amazon. I don't know that I agree with that. I don't know that it needs to be the level of Amazon right away. There's still money to be made here from TikTok if they're bringing, manufacturing, production, distribution, all inside their walls, and they're able to get a preview of what's happening, what demand there's going to be for certain products, and if they can source those or manufacture them and get them out to people more quickly than, say, a retailer would have.
So you're saying they should go vertical and become a retailer too?
I don't know that I'm saying that specifically, but hear me out on this one. So remember we were talking about a while back when the feta cheese phenomenon or any of these random things, these random products that come up. TikTok knows about that before anybody else does. So before Presidente feta cheese knows that it's going to be an issue where they're going to be running out of stock. So is there an opportunity, if they have logistics in place, if they have access to creators' content calendars, or they know what their creators are going to be doing, does TikTok have that information, and is there something they can do to get that product to you faster, or to kind of reroute how those products are going to be going out to the end consumer who's watching the content on TikTok? I think that this is something that we have to be very closely paying attention to. TikTok's only issue is itself, especially after this morning and the news of them taking 70% of funds from did you hear of that story?
No, I didn't. What was it?
They just got busted by the BBC. They did live stream donations to families in Syria, I believe. Geez. And TikTok just got busted taking 70% of the money. Oh, and
gosh.
Only 30% was going to families.
Okay, but anyway, all right.
Anyway.
Okay, so there was a lot you said there.
There's a lot going on. A lot of opportunities. We got to pay attention to it.
Okay, so here's what I take from what you just said. I think your points about where people are searching and where they're engaging are very, very important.
Yes.
Now, does that to me mean that TikTok needs to get into warehousing? I don't know, because I don't think, and yes, they have the data ahead of time, but that doesn't necessarily mean you need to be in the warehousing game to get product to people to capitalize on that trend. There are plenty of other ways to do that, especially as you're working with influencers to get people inspired, the brands to get people inspired. And you have to remember too, this is something that a lot of people are getting into right now. American Eagle is trying to stand up their own frenemy network. Gap, now potentially Walmart, we just talked about. So my question is what right does TikTok actually have to win in the warehousing space? And let's not forget, too, that Amazon is really good at this for the brands as well, as I just talked about getting my Apple iPad to me in 3 hours, which that ad could be served up in TikTok and still fulfilled through Amazon very easily. So why the brands that are selling their products need to think about TikTok for this service when there's going to be so much scale available to them and people that have a history of doing it better is interesting to me. And I think our minds are, hold on one sec. I think our minds are that we think it's a good idea because that's what we know about Amazon and what it does. But Amazon's history is different. Amazon built out its logistics network as a retailer, first and foremost.
Yep.
TikTok's a social media company. And for that reason, I think it will be a tough road to hoe for TikTok to go down this path. So I actually don't like the move, but final word again.
I don't know. I don't think that you can compare this to Amazon, and I don't think that we've seen
I don't think you can either. That's my point.
From Amazon or from any other platform the way that we've seen the adoption on TikTok. Like this next generation and the power that social media has over influencing purchasing decisions and where they're buying and who they're buying from, I think is going to be different than the age of Amazon where we started going on Amazon for search.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I just think that's a mutually exclusive factor from where does the product get fulfilled from.
Yeah, if you're assuming though that again, we're going off of job descriptions. So just because they're building just because the description for this particular job right now is looking for an e-commerce fulfillment warehouse, like that doesn't mean that that's the end goal. Is it just e-commerce fulfillment? I don't think we know that yet.
Yeah. So you're saying they want to be a retailer?
I don't think we know.
What would you advise?
I'm advising that
you like this move or not?
I'm not saying I don't know that I like it or dislike it. I think that it's worthy of people's attention to be paid to what TikTok's motivations are in this space, whether it's retailing, whether it's fulfillment. I don't think we know enough about what their strategy is based off of job descriptions at this point in time. So I don't think that we can. I'm thinking like you should be theorizing what the potential is for TikTok to do in this space.
But so that's what I'm asking. What do you think that is? What are you theorizing is there for them when you say that? Because I'm not following you.
I think that there is the potential for them to become a manufacturer. There is the potential for them to become a retailer. There is the potential for them to help support warehousing, or because again that they know in advance what products are going to be popular because of what content is coming out, that they would be a more efficient or more valuable distribution point for retailers.
Do you think all that's at play here potentially when you read this headline?
Potentially.
Okay.
I mean, I think figuring
if
we're comparing it, if you want to make the Amazon comparison and you're looking at logistics as the baseline, like how do we figure out how to get these products to people first before we start going vertical and building like, okay, what can we produce here? How far does it have to travel? Like, this is the baseline for those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah, no, I think you got me on that point. I think that deserves merit for sure.